Okay, so why change is so needed? All right, I'm going to talk about something near and dear to my heart as it pertains to like cheating, okay? Cheating, sex scandals, fooling around with one's own friends or family members or lovers of family members. Like, I want to talk about that um, because where this stuff can go, all right? I want to talk about why we all need to get a grip on our own selves, men and women alike, because this is, it's something that can start off exhilarating. It can start off as a high. It can start off as, ooh, like this is so bad, so it feels so good. But at what cost and what expense, and why is that there? Especially for those of us that are up there in age, okay? Now, all things being equal, we all have to live and learn, right? We've all been young. By the way, I'm almost 50. I'm close to 50 years old. Okay, so I'm not a youngster. So I have lived and I do understand the various phases that we go through in life and development. I got my story just like everybody else, okay? So, what am I saying about for those of us later in life, the importance of really looking at this stuff if you're over the age of 30? If you're 30 years old and up, okay? And this stuff is covered up. We cover this stuff up with our false spirituality and our false religion and our false goodness and our pretend, success and all of that. Meanwhile, flirting around with our friends, boyfriends or girlfriends or husbands and wives, but acting like these people flirting with us. Messy. That's messy. Okay. And then in some of these cases, people, having affairs with each other's, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, and downplaying it as not a big deal. Downplaying it as, well, life happens. No one's perfect. Okay, those are all cop-outs and excuses. Because at the end of the day, none of us would want to be on the receiving end. And we would have a whole lot to say if we were on the receiving end of some type of foul play. So, men, women, I'm trying to be fair here. A lot of masculine or men, masculine dominated or males, until they really mature for real, okay, outside of the programming related to manhood, until they really do heal and transform and become self-reflective and all that, if you all don't get a hold of this weakness, okay, these lustful and sexual weaknesses, whether that's to do with physical appearance or materialism. If you don't get over this, you're going to get got a whole lot more times than you already have. Okay? You're going to get got. Okay? If you're easily swayed by anybody that's just willing to pay you attention and fluff up your ego, and they have the ideal body symmetrics, if that's your thing, or the ideal complexion, the ideal looks, or the ideal wallet. Okay? Whatever this is, or they're pygmishas or pygmicas. This is going to be used against you. Okay? We need to stop objectifying one another and other people. Okay? If you're in a relationship and you've married someone in a commitment, you have absolutely no business fucking around with their mother, their father, their niece, their nephew, their aunt, their uncle, their cousin. You have absolutely no business entertaining them whatsoever. And they certainly have no business. I mean, they're worse than you. Okay? Because the loyalty should be running through the blood to have some kind of decency. Okay? And when that's not there, that's some perversions going on there. Okay? And the casualties, the messes that have been made. Why am I talking this way? I'm not currently going through this. I have, though. I've definitely experienced it. Okay? And it's the saddest thing. But until we start, first and foremost, stop thinking this shit is cute. Stop being willing, if you're not directly involved, stop being willing to being willing to stay silent and keeping a secret, only to find yourself in this predicament later. And that's usually for a karmic lesson. Like, this is not okay. You don't involve yourself in that shit. You don't keep the secrets. You don't perpetuate these people's stories and lies. You yourself wouldn't want to be on the receiving end. And when you find yourself on that receiving end, you're going to have a whole lot to say. If people are willing to backstab one family member, you better bet your bottom dollar they'll do it to another. And that's another lesson that people don't seem to catch on to. Oh, they wouldn't do me like this. They wouldn't do me like this. Yes, they would. This obsession, like I said, 2020 brought something on. It was before 2020, quite frankly. But this obsessions with the physical perfection and having huge asses and tits and, liposuction and flip, nip, tuck, and, these obsessions with being able to fuck someone, you know what I'm saying, is taking people out of here. It's ruining men's happiness, women's happiness, whole families, because what? We don't have our shit in order. We're not dealing with that. Then we want to sit in a corner and cry. We don't have our curiosity in check. We allow our judgment to get clouded for a groan and a nut and some attention and a little bit of money. So you'll betray your own wife, your baby mama, or your own, baby daddy, your husband, to get that. Family members, the relatives. So you're willing to turn a blind eye because you actually care about what these people think when they're showing you. They have no regard. They don't have no sense of loyalty or no sense of morals as it pertains to their own blood, obviously. Okay? So what makes you think that you ain't going to be on the receiving end someday, if you're not already? This toxic loyalty, this toxic secrecy, okay? And then these things also could land in a place of tragedy, because these people, again, I'm going to keep pushing this. It's time for people to get out. There's things that are ending in true tragedies, all because people want to keep the secrets of folks that they know ain't right. They know they ain't right. And I'm sorry, these people need to be shamed. If it's the grandparents, the great uncles and aunts, whoever it is that's sitting up there keeping the toxicity, the secrecy of this kind of shit, you all are a part of the goddamn problem. You are. You have enabled these energies to do all of these betrayals by keeping their secrets, by financing them, and in some of y'all's cases by believing their shenanigans and then involving yourself on coming against innocent people that you later pay for too. This is not about any specific religion or spirituality. This is a call to getting healthy. It's a call to the exposure of the bullshit. Just because people got money, fame, fortune, good looks, homes, vehicles, you have no idea what they sold to have that, by the way. But you have no idea of what kind of person these people are behind the scene when they're not performing for you. These are people who want to avoid change and healing. They're not well. And instead of going on the journey to get well or balanced out, they become more and more toxic. And then they try to do away, end, unaliven, put to death and rest in any way they can anybody who knows the truth of them. You all need to open your eyes to narcissism. Get educated.